Look, I have always said this, right? You've seen that title. Ugly men don't exist. They just don't exist. So if you feel like you're a 1, 2, or bottom of the barrel, that only your mom thinks you're pretty, I'm gonna prove it with statistics. Let's pull out some stats, right? Ugly men don't exist. I'm gonna prove it to you. Number 1, height, right? That's the big one for every dude. And I'm gonna be honest with you, yes, if you're over 6 feet, you have an advantage. But here's the reality. Global height, Google it. Look it up. 5'7", and almost every dude I have met in my lifetime is around that height, right? 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", they're in that range. Almost every dude, and probably in your lifetime too. Very rarely are you gonna find the dude that's 4'11", right, or 5 foot, and at that case, those are anomalies. In the same way, the guy that's 6'3" and 6'4", those are anomalies as well, which means most of you watching right now, I don't want to hear it, right? Height should not be an excuse because the majority of the world walks around in your same shoes and they're getting the results you want to get, right? And you can name attractive short men all day long. Tom Cruise, Zac Efron, all these guys are freaking 5'7", 5'8", and they're pulling, right? They're killing it in their respective fields. Takes me to number 2, your weight. You see, average weight worldwide for a man is 136 pounds. Now, in the US, that's heavily skewed, and I think the average weight is like 190 just because we have an obesity problem. But globally, it's 136 pounds. But here's the thing. Research shows most women are attracted to men that are muscular, that look physically stronger and more dominant. They prefer these men over the guys that are leaner, skinnier, or more on the athletic build side. And here's where it gets interesting. Research showed to maximize your attractiveness to women, you need to put on about 20 to 30 pounds of muscle and be at about 12% body fat. Now, this is a pretty ideal stage. So that means if you're around, let's say 130, 150 would be where you look nice and full, right? And this is not overnight. This takes training, this takes time, this takes effort, and that's the point. I've always said that ugly men don't exist. Lazy men exist. And you gotta understand that to get where you want to get, it's not gonna be, in the next 6 months, and even in the next year. My own progress has been 10 years. Go to my first video. Go look at that scrawny, poor, awkward kid. Go watch him. Right? And I'll come back to this video. Or watch gradually. You'll see the progression. It's visible, right? And it's not overnight. This takes me on to the third thing. Strength. Bro, look at these numbers I'm showing on screen. This was a study done where it showed that the average man, untrained, can only put up about 135 on the bench press, right? Which, again, it's a respectable number. I don't want to minimize this. What I want to show you is just how low the bar is set for you to surpass that. For you to be at an elite level of the top 5 to 10%. And see, that does something to a man. When you start seeing your strength develop, you start seeing your body morph, you start putting that 10 pounds of muscle, those 20 pounds of muscle, right? You start lifting 2 plates, 225. Shoot, some of you might get to 315 on the bench and on certain other lifts. You walk with a certain confidence, right? Because you know you look more dominant. You look stronger. You know you're confident in your abilities. These vital signs of strength, according to this study, account for more attractiveness than height and weight will ever do. What does that tell you? You're in complete control. You can get to those numbers. This takes me to my last one. It's your bank account. The median account balance here in the US is about $5,000, combined within checkings and savings. Now, do you realize that number is not that large? Now, it might sound large, and back in the day for me that would have been very large, but now knowing what I know, you could DoorDash for 3 months as a side hustle, and now you have equal amount of savings as what the median is. Now you're average, but let's say you decided to listen to me. And what did I tell you last time, right? If you graduate high school, if you don't get a girl knocked up under 21 or outside of marriage, and you have a full-time job, you have a 74% chance of being in the middle class. So that's your main goal, and now you have a side hustle making you $5K extra every 3 months, right? Now you're above average. You're no longer in the median. You're starting entering that upper middle class. And now let's say you also listen to me and you put a relentless work ethic, a relentless focus on your pursuit. And whatever your craft is, I don't care what it is, photography, it could be YouTube, it could be schooling, it could be a lawyer, I don't care what it is, you just put a relentless pursuit on that. Do you really think you're gonna stay up below average for a very long time? No, it will take you time, right? It could take you 5 years, it could take you 10 years. But do you think can you realistically say you will stay poor? You can't. Now you're in the top 1 percentile of men. And all of that, everything I just talked about in this video is completely under your control. You are the guy in control. You can maneuver into the right direction. It's gonna be a long road. It's gonna be a tiresome road. It's gonna be a hard road, but you're in control, right? And by the way, I haven't even mentioned style. I haven't mentioned grooming. I haven't mentioned charisma. I haven't mentioned any of those other stuff. The point is, the power of how attractive you can be is within your hands. You can be that guy. You can be that dude. You got it, bro.